This mystery story is about a malevolent creature from Algonquian-speaking First Nations folklore, particularly prevalent in the Great Lakes region. It is depicted as a gaunt, cannibalistic entity with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. Legends often portray Wendigos as originating from human greed, selfishness, or even cannibalism, with some individuals transforming into these creatures. They are seen as symbols of isolation, selfishness, and the dangers of losing one's humanity, serving as cautionary tales within their respective cultures. The word Wendigo comes from an old Ojibwe word that means something that is evil, bad, or of the evil ones. It can also mean greedy, insatiable, malicious, and spiteful. The term has been used to describe many things, but it is most often used to describe a type of creature or entity. The Wendigo is best described as a gaunt, ghastly, cannibalistic spirit that is born from greed and starvation. But this spirit is more than just some evil creature. It's a monster of the unforgiving winter, a being of ice and snow that lurks in the frozen north waiting to prey on those foolish enough to wander into its domain. It was said that the Wendigo stalked the snowy wastes of North America long before there were any humans around. Some legends say that they are the spirits of animals whose bodies were stolen by humans and made into clothing. Others say that they are the souls of men who have gone insane due to the cold and isolation of winter and have resorted to cannibalism. But regardless of how they came to be, one thing is certain: Wendigos are evil. They are driven by an insatiable hunger for human flesh, and will stop at nothing to satisfy it. In the old stories, the Wendigo was often described as a creature with the face of a man and the body of a deer, though other descriptions do exist. Some say it looks like a giant wolf or bear, while others claim it takes the form of a humanoid with long, sharp claws and teeth and skin as white as snow. What all these descriptions have in common, however, is the Wendigo's most defining characteristic: its immense size. The Wendigo is a creature of legend, said to be as tall as a house and as strong as a locomotive. Its breath is cold enough to freeze a person solid in a single breath, and its eyes burn with an unholy fire that can melt your soul. The Wendigo's power should not be underestimated. It's a force of nature that is as unstoppable as the blizzard it calls home. And yet, despite its size and strength, the Wendigo is not invincible. In some stories, it can be killed, but only by those who are pure of heart and strong of will. The Wendigo is a test of character, a challenge to those who would dare oppose it. And only the most valiant of heroes can hope to prevail. For those unfortunate enough to cross paths with the Wendigo, there is no escape. It is relentless in its pursuit of human flesh, and will hunt down its prey relentlessly until it is satisfied. The very sight of the Wendigo is enough to drive a person mad, and the sound of its roar can shatter bones. Those who are brave enough to fight back against the Wendigo stand little chance. Its claws are like icicles, sharp and deadly, and its teeth can tear through flesh and bone with ease. Even if you were somehow able to land a hit on the Wendigo, it wouldn't do much damage. Its skin is as hard as a frozen lake, and it is resistant to all forms of conventional weaponry. If you're looking for proof of the Wendigo's existence, don't bother checking the local zoo or animal control office. This beast isn't registered anywhere. That's because the Wendigo only appears in legends and folklore. There are no scientific studies or evidence to support its existence. Some people claim to have seen it, but they're probably just crazy or lying. So if you're feeling brave, go ahead and venture into the frozen wasteland of North America. Just make sure you bring plenty of firewood and a good supply of protein bars, just in case. There is perhaps no greater threat to humanity than the Wendigo. It is an insatiable killing machine that stops at nothing to satisfy its hunger for human flesh. It is a creature of pure evil, driven by a dark and twisted desire to consume the very souls of its victims. To encounter the Wendigo is to invite death and madness into your life. And yet, despite the danger it poses, the Wendigo is a creature that has fascinated humans for centuries. We tell stories about it around campfires and write novels and screenplays about it. We create movies and video games that bring its icy horrors to life. Why is it that we are so drawn to this creature? Perhaps it is because it represents our darkest fears and desires. Perhaps it is a reflection of the violence and darkness that lies within us all. Whatever the reason, one thing is certain: the Wendigo is a creature that will continue to haunt our nightmares for generations to come. In Native American mythology, the Wendigo is more than just a scary monster. It is a symbol of the dangers of greed and gluttony. The Wendigo is born from the insatiable hunger of humans, who are willing to do anything to survive in the harsh winter months. When people turn to cannibalism out of desperation, they become infected with the spirit of the Wendigo. This is why the Wendigo is often depicted as a cannibalistic creature, because it represents the dark side of human nature. The Wendigo is not just a creature of the physical world, it is also a spiritual being that can possess humans and control their minds. When a person is possessed by the Wendigo, they become obsessed with consuming human flesh. They lose all sense of morality and empathy and become consumed by their own selfish desires. This is why the Wendigo is such a terrifying monster, because it represents the potential for evil that lies within every human being. To protect themselves against the Wendigo, Native Americans developed a variety of rituals and ceremonies. These rituals were designed to keep the Wendigo spirit away and to prevent people from becoming infected with its evil. One of the most important things that people could do to protect themselves was to avoid eating human flesh, obviously. But to be real, make sure you dispose of chicken bones properly after your meals. Ha ha ha, I made a joke. Otherwise, the Wendigo spirit could use the bones to re-enter the physical world. Another way that Native Americans tried to protect themselves against the Wendigo was by telling stories about the creature. By sharing stories about the Wendigo, people were able to warn each other about the dangers of greed and gluttony. They also believed that by telling stories about the Wendigo, they were helping to keep the creature at bay. Despite these precautions, the Wendigo was still able to strike fear into the hearts of Native Americans. The creature was seen as a manifestation of the harsh winter months and the desperation that they brought. People knew that when the winter months arrived, they had to be careful not to give in to their darkest desires. If they did, they could risk becoming the very thing they were trying to avoid. Today, the Wendigo continues to be a popular figure in horror stories and films. Its image is often used to represent the dangers of greed and the darkness that lies within human nature. However, it's important to remember that the Wendigo is more than just a scary monster. It is a symbol of the challenges that people face when they are pushed to their limits and the choices they must make when faced with impossible odds. So the next time you hear a story about the Wendigo, remember that it's not just a tale of horror. It's a cautionary reminder to stay true to yourself no matter how desperate things may seem. Now let's look at some interesting facts about the Wendigo. The Wendigo is a creature of many faces. In some stories, it is depicted as a gaunt, emaciated being with sharp claws and teeth, and skin as white as snow. In other stories, it takes the form of a giant wolf or bear. The Wendigo is said to be as tall as a house and as strong as a locomotive. Its breath is cold enough to freeze a person solid in a single breath, and its eyes burn with an unholy fire that can melt your soul. The Wendigo is an extremely rare creature, and sightings are said to be extremely rare. However, there are a few cases of people claiming to have encountered the Wendigo in the wild. These stories are often dismissed as the ramblings of crazy people, but some believe that they may be telling the truth. The Wendigo is a highly intelligent creature and is known for its cunning and manipulative ways. It is said to be able to shapeshift into various forms, making it difficult to track or capture. The Wendigo is also known for its ability to possess humans, driving them to do unspeakable things. The Wendigo is a creature of habit and is known for following the same patterns of behavior over and over again. For example, it is said to always strike at night, and it always targets the same type of prey. The Wendigo is extremely elusive and is rarely seen by humans. However, there are a few tribes that claim to have successfully tracked down and killed the Wendigo. These stories are often passed down through generations and serve as warnings to the young about the dangers of the wilderness. The Wendigo is a highly feared creature and is often associated with death and destruction. In some cases, the Wendigo is said to be responsible for entire villages going missing. While there is no concrete evidence to support these claims, some believe that the Wendigo may be lurking in the shadows, waiting to strike. What do you think of this ancient mythical creature? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. See you soon.